Hang on. It takes standby. Standby for a second.
Chairman, are you ready to go live?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Tamla, let Mike know.
Tam, you good?
Yes, sir. He just lit.
Okay.
He's on.
Okay. I'll call this meeting to order. Texas Commission of Licensing Regulation calls this emergency meeting to take action as described below in response to COVID-19 pandemic and resulting imminent threat to public health and safety. Tamla, can you call the roll?
Yes, sir. Chairman Rick Figueroa,
Here.
Vice Chairman Tom Butler, Commissioner Butler, your microphone is muted, but I see that you are present. Dr. Gerald Callis, Ray Callis,
Yes, ma'am, I'm on.
Commissioner Helen Collier, Commissioner Nora Castaneda, Commissioner Joel Garza,
Here.
thank you, and Dr. Gary Wesson.
Here.
You have a quorum, sir.
Outstanding. Okay. Item C on the agenda is public comment. Tamla, do we have some public comments?
We do have a public commenter. We have a few comments that have been forwarded to you from written comments. The public commenter, I'm waiting on a phone number for him. Give me 1 second while I check if he's given me a number.
Mr. Chairman, this is Brian Francis.
Yes, sir.
On the two written comments that I've reviewed very quickly, one comment was asking if we will be taking action on salon closures or any other limitations. The answer is going to be no, we're not addressing that issue. And then the other commenter wrote about the efforts that he's made to get his license and applications in on time, and that he felt that others should meet that same standard.
Roger that.
Yes, sir.
Commissioners, have you received public comment from TDLR?
Yes, I have, Chairman.
Okay, has anybody not received it? Any commissioners not received it? Okay, good. All right, Tamla, we'll give the call in a couple more minutes.
Yes, sir. The gentleman's name is Joseph Hare, and I've sent him 2 emails asking him for a phone number for contact.
Okay. Would you know what it was germane to the item on the agenda, or was it just similar to the other? You know?
He doesn't give us any indication. He simply said, I'd like to speak during today's emergency meeting.
Mr. Chairman,
We'll give him another.
with all due respect, even with this comment, if he could interrupt us while we continue to proceed, I think that is germane for us to continue to move in this meeting forward, sir.
So noted. Let's give him a few more seconds, just by circumstance.
An additional public comment was just sent to you.
Okay. All right, well, let's continue on. Are we closed, Tamla, or is it still about the same where we were a few minutes ago?
Same.
Okay. All right, well, let's go on to the next item on the agenda, which is the item D, which is rules. Mr. Bowman, are you going to take point on this?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and commissioners. Also, my name is Brad Bowman, General Counsel, and we sent earlier a little earlier today the materials for this item, so hopefully you have that, and we're going to try to also share the screen here to show you that as we go forward. I have my partner here, Alex Phipps, who actually worked on this rule along with Molly and several others in my on my team. So what
I'm sorry,
is
Brad. Before you go completely into your comments, I do have Mr. Hare's phone number here. Would you like me to go ahead and add him for comment now, or do you want to proceed and we'll add him after?
We'll add him after. Let's just go ahead. We're
Thank
already got Mr. Bowman. So let's go ahead and move on with Mr. Bowman.
Okay. And so what has necessitated this emergency rule is obviously the COVID-19 pandemic and the impact that that's had on department operations. And so as you probably aware, there have been some backlogs and delays as a result of that in terms of processing renewal applications timely. And so the effort here is to make sure that our licensees can continue to work. And while this is going on, and while the department is working through those backlogs and getting license renewals processed. So a little bit about the procedure that we're following here. This is an emergency rule, so there hasn't been any prior notice of this. This is a procedure that's allowed in the Administrative Procedure Act to adopt a rule on an emergency basis if there's an urgent public necessity. Of course, we believe there is here. This is all related to the COVID-19 pandemic and efforts to deal with that. The rule, if you choose to adopt it, would be effective for 120 days, so it's temporary, and that can be extended for an additional 60 days, so up to a total of 180 days. So it's a short-term solution to deal with this problem in this interim period, and we'll kind of walk you through the rule and what this does. But the basis of it is legal authority that the commission currently has in Chapter 51 of your statute to issue emergency licenses during a declared disaster. So this and that can be done according to rules that are adopted by the commission. So this rule would provide the basis to do that. So basically, this would allow anyone who is licensed with an expiration date on or after August 1st to receive an emergency license. We would not actually be mailing something to them. This would be something that would happen in our system and would be published on our website so that can be verified. And that would be for up to 120 days after the expiration date of the license. And again, it's to give time for the department to process the renewal. So if the renewal is actually processed sooner than that, then the emergency license would expire. So this is a tool to extend those license dates so that people can continue lawfully working while the department is processing all of these renewal applications.
Mr. Chairman, I have questions for our council, Mr. Bowman.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Bowman, it's Ray Callis. I have a question. Why did we choose an arbitrary date of August 1st, number one? Number two, August 1st was months ago. So why are we setting up an emergency meeting tonight so that way people that are watching understand? Because, I mean, I just want to let the public know that we had no idea that we were having this meeting until I got informed this morning. Or early afternoon at the latest. But my question is that, so to be clear for everyone that is listening to us, you're saying that if my license expired between August 1st and November 23rd, no matter what date that is, we're going to give them an emergency extension for 120 days of their license, not from 120 days of this meeting, correct?
Correct. And Dr. Callis, just to address that question, we picked the date of August 1st because we believe that's far enough back that we would catch anyone that might still be kind of working their way through the system. Our licensing folks don't really think there are very many that far back, that we're not that backlogged. but it's just to make sure that if there is anybody that's still working their way through the pipeline from that time period, that we'll catch them and give them the benefit of this as well. I think we're mostly looking at folks with later expiration, more recent expiration dates than that.
Thank you,
I
sir.
think
Thank you. Excellent clarification. Thank you.
Great point, Dr. Callis. Great point. Thank you for bringing that up.
Mr. Chairman, this is Brian Francis. Just to kind of add to it, early on in this pandemic, Mr. Chairman, you and I talked, and we've talked weekly, actually, about where are we at in this process. And one of the things that you strongly encouraged us to do was to walk with our licensees. And we were able to do that when we extended expiration dates, when we waived late fees, when we provided for distance education, telehealth. Those are examples of walking with our licensees. This is a continuation of it. We're at this juncture now because we've had to shut down our financial services group for the 4th time. And that's where this bottleneck and this congestion is really resulting from that. But we're not standing idly, and I want the commissioners to know that. We've already, in the month of September and even August, had conversations with a third-party vendor that is going to provide us with an imaging or innovative solution that on the front end will image the mail coming in, will batch and receipt the checks that we receive, and allow for our employees to get that image document and work from it remotely. So we are taking steps to mitigate and overcome this moment, but it's just that last closure of the financial service group just hit us hard, and I don't want our licensees to suffer because of our delays. I want them to keep being able to do what they do, and we'll take care of this end and get that corrected as quickly as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Francis. Great points, and we're in that midst of where we are going to do whatever we can to make sure that each licensee has that opportunity to stay employed, and it won't be a bureaucratic or a snafu that will cause that to not happen. So, Mr. Bowen,
Mr. Chairman, one more point about the rule, that also the rule makes clear that licensees are not required to post or display the emergency license, because we won't actually be mailing a physical license for this, but there are requirements in certain programs where licensees have to display the license or post the license. So we wanted to make clear in this rule that that's not required for this particular kind of license. And then one additional point, the licensee will be expected to renew their underlying license timely, or if they didn't renew timely, they'll have to pay late fees according to just that normal process. So this doesn't change that. It just gives the person some additional time while the department is processing the renewals, and as Brian said, so that they don't bear the brunt or the burden of that. If you choose to adopt this rule, commissioners, we would ask for a motion to adopt the rule with an immediate effectiveness, and also authorizing your use of your electronic signatures on the order. And I'm available to answer any other questions. Alex is here also to anything we can field.
Mr. Bowman, I have one more question for your comment, Mr. Chairman, if it's okay with you.
yes, sir.
Just like in anything, whenever we're through any type of natural disaster or pandemic, I feel strongly that the state of Texas already steps up and leads in that. And I will tell you that I love being on this commission. TDLR is always leading. The one thing that I would ask the commission and the commissioners to make sure that if during the time between August 1st and the 120 days of that person's license, I hope we don't have bad actors, because I think if we do, that are taking us for granted, I think we should make sure that they don't come out of here scot-free, due to the fact that we are trusting the licensees to practice in good faith. And I'm telling you that we're going to have some bad actors, but I'm just challenging this commission to make sure, as we're doing what's right for the public safety, and we're allowing you to practice, and we're allowing you to be licensed to do what you do right, do not come back and cross us when we're reaching out, trying to do everything that's safe. So, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to bring that up because that's something that really concerns me. But I think we're acting in the right way. I just don't want to have a lull period where someone is a bad actor. We're giving them 120 days more acting. So that's all I was bringing up, sir.
Okay. Any other?
I got a question too.
Yes, sir. Dr. Weston.
So on this 120 days, that's going to expire at the end of this month if we're going back to August 1st. And so then that other 60 days is going to start at the end of this month.
Dr. Weston, there's basically 220 days, 120-day periods. One is for the rule itself. So once you adopt this rule, it's valid for 120 days because you're doing it on an emergency basis. We can extend that. We can come back to the commission and you can extend that for another 60 days. The other 120-day period is for the licensees. So we're tacking on 120 days to the end of each person's renewal.
All right. We were already going to be behind the curve there. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we adopt these rules and also use our signature as acceptance if so moved.
I'll take that motion in a second. Just want to make sure there's no other comments before I do that. Commissioner Butler, Garza, any comments?
Yes, sir. Would you continue? Hold 1 second.
Okay. So no other comments. I'll take Commissioner Callis' motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I'm sorry, Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
I do have your public commenter on the line. Mr. Hare?
Is it relevant to the motion that's being made right now, Tamara?
No.
I'm not sure. He didn't give me his comment beforehand.
We'll stay him. Hang on, Tim. We're in the middle of a motion right
Okay.
now. You can hang on for that. But thank you, Chandler. Just tell him to hang on for a minute. We definitely want to hear from him, please. Okay, we got a motion and we have a second. It was Dr. Weston, I think that's second.
Yes.
Dr. Callis made the motion that we accept the order and accept our electronic signatures, emergency order. Okay, we're going to do a roll call vote just because I think I can't see people and I need to make sure I understand. So Tamala, if you don't mind, can you roll call vote? All those in favor?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Butler? Commissioner Butler, you're muted and I can't hear you. I'm sorry, I can't hear Commissioner Butler, but Dr. Callis?
Yay.
Thank you. Commissioner Garza?
Aye.
Thank you. Dr. Wesson?
Aye.
Thank you. Chairman Figueroa?
Aye.
And I don't get a vote from Commissioner Butler.
Okay.
Do we still have a quorum if he's not voting?
Yeah, I got it. We got it.
Yes, sir, Dr.
We do.
Dr. Callis, we've got a quorum.
Yes, so we got it. 4 favor. We have abstention there for Commissioner Butler. Motion passes. Thank you, commissioners, for doing that. Appreciate that. Ms. Fletcher, can you put our public comment? Well, hang on. I just got a text from Commissioner Butler. He says aye on his as well, so he wants to go down as an aye.
Thank you.
So you unanimous. Ms. Fletcher, you want to go ahead and give us a public comment? I'll let him know what he has.
Yes, sir. Mr. Hare?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Hare, you are being heard by the commissioners. You're on speaker and the commissioners can hear you. So you may go ahead and give your public comment.
One second. Mr. Hare, can you hear me?
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. I'm the power of attorney for a couple here in Houston
I'm sorry.
where we are dealing with a criminal charge against a licensed public adjuster. And my concern is when I sat with him in representation of this couple, he boasted about having been licensed by the state of Texas and that he will continue doing business as he does because he's licensed, even though he's right now facing criminal charges. My concern is how are we going to determine if everyone that is just going to get this blanket renewal of their license versus looking to see if someone perhaps needs to have their delay, have their license delayed if they have criminal charges. This is what I'm recommending and asking, have you considered something like that?
Mr. Hare, may I ask you to turn your computer off or down so that you can be more clearly heard? The background noise is interfering with your being heard clearly.
Is he still on the line, Tamla?
He is still on the line. He's turning down his computer so we can hear him more clearly.
Can you hear me better?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hare,
Okay.
Mr. Hare,
Am I being heard more clearly?
You are being heard more clearly, but our commissioner is addressing you. Can you hear him?
No, I cannot, but I'm listening.
Mr. Hare, can you hear me?
I do hear you.
Okay, this is Chairman Figueroa. I appreciate your time. I apologize for the difficulties. This is a quick turnaround. We want to make sure and make sure you have the right to be heard. I want to make sure to outline the guidelines to you. You have 3 minutes to speak. The commissioner cannot engage or discuss what you're bringing to the table because it's not on the agenda. Okay, so it's just how it is. If you request to put something on agenda, you can go down the road and we'll do it on agenda. But you got 3 minutes to speak. Ms. Fletcher will keep time for you. Okay. Do you understand what I just told you, Mr. Hare?
You said that what I presented was not on the agenda. I was just notified about 20 minutes before this meeting that you were going to have the meeting.
Right, Mr. Hare. Mr. Hare, these are the rules of the public comment. There's 3 minutes. Everybody has the same, no matter how long. That's the rules of public comment. So you'll have 3 minutes to speak to the commission. We can't discuss anything that you're talking to us about. We'll just hear what you have to say, and if there's a follow-up, we'll have one of our staff follow up with you. Okay, Mr. Hare?
Sure, that'll be fine. Would you like me to repeat my concern then?
I'm going to reset those 3 minutes right now because it was difficult to hear you. So I'm going to reset those 3 minutes, and you can go right now, Mr. Hare.
Okay, thank you kindly. As I mentioned, I have a power of attorney for a couple here in Houston. We are at present dealing with a criminal suit against a state licensed adjuster. We had an initial meeting with this adjuster and he boasted about having a state license and that he would continue doing business as he does because he has a state license. Even though we're in the middle of a lawsuit against him for fraud, that perhaps the state licensing agency may want to consider holding off on automatically licensing companies that have pending criminal suits against them versus just giving a blanket.
Are you still there, sir?
Please, my statement.
Mr. Chairman, this is Brian Francis. Mr. Hare, we appreciate your comments very much. And in fact, I'll have my Deputy Executive Director, Christina Kaiser, contact you, kind of walk you through the process and also let you know which licenses we regulate and which ones we do not. You had mentioned that it's an adjuster, which is a license that is not under our purview, but we definitely want to make sure that we get a clear understanding of what you're saying, but also walk you through the process. So you'll be getting contacted very shortly, sir. But thank you so much for your time and talking to us.
Absolutely, and thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to hearing the follow-up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hare.
Thank you, Mr. Hare.
Good day.
Okay. All right. Tamla,
Yes, sir.
any other comments or anything else?
One moment, sir. Let me please check. We have a few more public comments which have been written and forwarded to you guys. So there are questions about lag time and addressing that. Will we be required to wear masks? Are there any? Do we still need to go monthly and report $0? That's something about taxation. So those comments have been forwarded to you all.
Okay. Any more
Mis-
live comments?
And Mr.
Yes,
Chairman, we'll
yes.
make sure that if there are any that need follow-up from staff, we will get to those very quickly.
Okay, we'll definitely do that.
There are no
Any-
more phone calls.
No more phone calls. Okay. Mr. Francis, I don't see anything else on the agenda. Did I miss something?
If not,
Okay. Hey, commissioners, I appreciate the way you guys have adjusted your schedule to jump on this call. I realize everybody has short notice, but you know, strange times call for strange measures. I appreciate the sacrifice you guys are doing in order for our licensees to get what they need done. I hear your hearts when you speak about the licensees and making sure that they are able to do it. And I hear your hearts also about making sure there are no bad actors involved or taking advantage of this. I've assured you that as I talk to Mr. Francis weekly, we are examining every angle in this. So, commissioners, if you would like, I'd be able to brief you guys as much as or often as possible individually, or contact Mr. Francis and he can brief you as well. But you guys are doing an amazing job. I cannot tell you again how much. Appreciate you guys. And again, Dr. Callis said at the beginning, it's an exciting time to just get back to some sense of normal and hopefully get back some time of where our state can get back restarted. So we're excited. We're going to get through this together, and we're going to walk with each other, and this is going to be okay. We're all going to be okay, and I'm excited to get fatter this week, and I hope y'all join me in that because I'm going to eat my misery a little bit tonight, this whole week. So God bless you guys. Any other comments from any commissioners?
Hope everybody have a great Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. I take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All right. Hey, that's it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Meeting's adjourned. God bless you guys. Have a great Thanksgiving, and we will see you in December. Be safe.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you, staff. Thank you for what you did.